As Gandhi once said, if we could change ourselves, the tendency in the world could also change. This presentation is going to be about food insecurity in the United States. Now, I'm going to be talking about this informatively with stats and facts. And when you might be asking yourself, what do I need to know about food insecurity? And there's not much you need to know to understand what food insecurity is or how it affects people. All you really need to know is that food insecurity is everywhere. Everywhere you look, everywhere, every neighborhood you see, it's gonna be at least one family suffering from food insecurity. Now, my goal here is to inform you, not persuade you, just inform you about how food insecurity can affect people in the United States. And you might be asking yourself, why should you listen to me? Well, you probably shouldn't be listening to me. I only have 1 week of studying this subject. But the articles I am using are written by authors with PhDs and years of economic experience. Now let's begin with main point 1. So main point 1 is low income insecurity. Now this means people who are food insecure because their income level just isn't high enough to meet the needs of a traditional diet. The articles I used it's called Childhood Food Insecurity in the United States, Trends, Causes, and Policy Options. Now this article was written by Craig Gunderson with a PhD in economics and James P. Ziliak with a PhD in economics. What I have found out is that food insecurity is higher in more rural countries. Not countries, towns, just areas in general. There's going to be more food insecurity. This basically translates into low income areas equal more food insecurity. Now that you understand low income food insecurity, let's move on to my second main point, which is the caregiver factor. Now the caregiver factor basically means that caregiver mental and physical health can influence a house's food insecurity. And for this, I used the same article that I have used in the previous midpoint that is written by the same authors, Craig Gunderson and James P. Ziliak. And what I have found out that is that disability among adults in a household basically equals into less income, which kind of goes back to main point 1. But yeah, so disability among adults equals a higher likelihood that the house will suffer or just be affected by food insecurity. There is a connection with this in my goal, and that is that food insecurity is caused by a lower income. Another thing that I found out about this is that a mother's mental and physical health can also very much influence a house's food security. If a mother doesn't cook, if a mother can't walk, if a mother can't do things that a mother can, then there's just a higher chance that the children or whoever else is living in that household might not get to eat as well. With so much food insecurity, what is the government doing to help? Well, what does the government do to help? The government does a lot. There is SNAP, WIC, NSLP, and SBP, which usually have $100 billion budget every year. Now, I'm getting this information from an article called Food Assistance Programs in Child Health, which is written by Craig Gunderson with a PhD in economics and Michelle Verploeg, that is the chief of the Food Assistance Branch at USDA's Economic Research Service. And what I have found is that millions of people use benefits every year. In 2013, there was 47 million people that have used benefits, which equal to roughly around $80 million. And ever since then, the numbers just are getting higher. That's just how it is. So, to conclude, today we've been talking about food insecurity. We started with low-income food insecurity, then we looked at the caregiver factor, and we finished with government assistance. My goal with this presentation is to inform you about food insecurity in the United States. To summarize, the main point one, which was low income, we have found out that cities or towns in more rural areas with lower incomes have a higher rate of food insecurity. And what we also found out from main point two, is that caregiver mental and physical health can have a big influence on whether a family can get a proper meal or just get just full or not. And from main point three, we have learned that there are millions of people who use benefits every year. More than 80 million. I believe now it would be closer to 100 billion have $100 billion in benefits, and that's just one of my estimates. I'm not really sure, but yes, as Gandhi once said, if we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world could also change. Be the change in the world that you want to see today. Thank you.